Please welcome your Arizona Cardinals.
One thing about this organization that we've created is expectations. 2018 was certainly way below our expectations as an organization.
It's definitely a weird season.
It hasn't been the best.
Learning experience.
Roller coaster.
You know how the roller coaster have that first drop, you get nauseous a little bit. But that's kind of how it's been feeling the whole season.
I feel like I was on that F-16 fighter jet again.
It was a screeching halt.
And the Redskins pummel the Cardinals to open the 2018 season.
I never saw this coming from the Arizona Cardinals.
We look up and it's like, whoa, we're 0-3.
The Rosen one makes his first NFL start. Touchdown! Throws left, Fitz is open, end zone, touchdown!
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Physically, it's been a long year.
It's time to do some soul searching.
Obviously, when you're losing games, you find out what you're made of.
Nobody in the building was here to collect checks.
He missed it, and the Cardinals win in Lambeau.
During these times, you learn a lot about yourself. You got a lot of guys with high character in this room, you know, the way they competed.
Are we going to have overtime and extend 2018? Or is the season over? Snap, ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. The Cardinals finish 3-13. They will have the #1 pick in the 2019 draft.
Here's your schedule for tomorrow. Injury check and exit physical begin at 8 a.m. Then the team meeting will be at 11 a.m.
It is a big red black Monday, folks. The season is over. We're on the brink of a new year. It is all going down around the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, guys, the Cardinals made it official just about 30 minutes ago.
Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks has been fired as expected.
We're going to go live to the press conference at 11 o'clock. You're going to hear from Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim.
Good morning, everyone. As you all know, this morning I met with Coach Wilks and let him know that we're going to go in a different direction. It was a tough decision. Had a very cordial meeting, shook his hand, and wished him well.
Steve, how much responsibility do you think is yours?
I mean, I think there's a great deal of it. I mean, that's the way I'm wired. You know, at the end of the day, we're all held accountable for this. I mean, there's certain areas where I have to look at our football operations and areas where we can make those improvements. But again, when we look back to the season and the disappointment it was, we ultimately felt like it was unacceptable.
Do you believe it makes sense to surround a young quarterback with a young offensive-minded head coach? That seems to be where the league has gone with some of the hires that have worked out the last few years.
We're keeping our cards close to our vest, so thank you all for all your questions. Appreciate it very much. When you've made a mistake, you're best off to admit it, fix it, and do it right away. You know, here we are. It's been about 5 hours since I spoke with Coach Wilks and let him know that we were parting ways. Most of the assistant coaches are out of the building. The players have all cleaned out their lockers. Just walking around the building, it's very quiet. So it does feel like, you know, we're now officially in the off season, and I have that sense of urgency. We already have interviews lined up, and I think now that we've got a franchise quarterback, we're going to look at offense.
The Arizona Cardinals are one of 8 NFL teams looking for a head coach. Do they need to move fast?
There's no doubt, and probably out of necessity. There are so many teams that are going to be after offensive-minded head coaches.
But we're going to have to see how that plays out. Being able to say on paper, we want to do this, and this, and how we hire this coach and where all this happens, and have it happen in real life, sometimes they don't always mesh. That's anything in life.
Looks like this is going to be a busy day on the coaching carousel. Breaking news here on NFL Network Live from our newsroom. The Arizona Cardinals seem to have found their new head coach as well. What if I told you Kliff Kingsbury is the guy? The former Texas Tech head coach.
It is done. The deal is done. This is going to be announced very shortly. Certainly a very new and different look for the Arizona Cardinals.
But I like the hire a lot. Everywhere Kliff went and called plays, it turned to gold. And then the juice and the heat is back in the desert. Either way, big swing. It's exciting.
We needed to get this right, and we needed to do something dramatic and bold. And is it a risk? Absolutely.
There's definitely some things that he's going to have to sort of curtail to the NFL game. But there's no doubt in my mind that the way he attacks, the way he uses formations, the way he uses different style of players to create isolated mismatches, to me that's what makes Kliff an innovative type coach.
Me and Coach Kingsbury, our history kind of dates back to when I was in high school. We had gone on the phone a couple of times, him recruiting me to Texas Tech, trying to get me out there. So it brings a lot of excitement, because he brings a certain culture, to our building, to our organization, and I think he's going to bring some swagger back, and obviously offensively, we know what he's able to do.
We are at Cardinals Complex in Tempe. We are here, obviously, for the live press conference of Kliff Kingsbury today. This is unprecedented, what the Arizona Cardinals have done. This is a swing for the fence move if I've ever seen one. This is extremely exciting to be a part of an experiment like this, with a guy like this, with a polarizing story like this.
Throw the ball 40 times a game. The fans are going to love that. That will put fans in the seats.
Nine days ago, we started a coaching search. We started out with the idea that we were going to look at the most successful teams in the league, are teams that have great offenses, top 10 offenses, are the teams that are in the Super Bowl, that win divisions. We wanted to hire a great offensive mind. With that, I would like to introduce our new head coach, Kliff Kingsbury.
Thank you, Michael, and I'd like to thank the Bidwell family as well, and Steve Keim and the entire Cardinals organization for this incredible opportunity. Even though I grew up in Texas, I actually became a Cardinals fan in high school. When they drafted Jake Plummer, I was a big Jake Plummer fan. The way he played, his style of play. And then, of course, Pat Tillman, what a legendary name. My father, who's here today, a former Marine and Purple Heart recipient. And so we've always had a great appreciation of the military in our family. And to learn the legend of Pat Tillman and hear that story has always been very inspiring. So this is an organization that I've always followed closely, have always found it very, very first class. The fan base is incredible, and I can't wait to be a part of this deal. I came here to help this organization get to where we want to be, and that's winning championships and giving this city the best team that we can be.
Kliff, what do you think of Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen is incredibly talented, one of the most talented throwers you'll see. A young player, obviously, that I'm excited to work with and develop. But as a pure thrower, it's hard to find a guy that throws it better.
Really excited to work with Coach Kingsbury. I've talked on the phone a couple times since he's been hired. I actually messaged a couple of the guys he's coached in the past at quarterback, and they all said he's an amazing coach. He's really smart and loves to work with the quarterbacks, and I couldn't ask for a better coach with a particular specialty than quarterbacks and offense. So I'm really excited get back there and thinking like April, hopefully get to work a little bit and start to get back into the swing of things. Environmentalism and conservation has always been sort of present in our household. My mom always taught us to recycle and pick up after ourselves, and I grew up at the beach, so sort of taking care of the ocean and sort of the marine wildlife conservation and everything has always been in my life, and something that definitely does matter to me and my family as well. It's a bit intimidating just to go out on the beach and pick up trash on your own. I think it's a lot more comfortable to come out and partake in something like this as a community. Picked up a bunch of like little, they call them microplastics. Yeah. I was broken up little plastics from, I guess, bigger things like water bottles and stuff. This last year I wore Parlay Adidas cleats. They're made out of upcycled ocean plastic, so similar to a lot of the stuff that we're picking up right now. And that's probably the biggest reason I signed with Adidas is because of their relationship with Parlay for Oceans. I'm trying to set an example for young athletes alike to really kind of align yourself with companies and products that you actually use and believe in. Also starting to work out this next week and get back into the swing of things and start throwing the ball around a little bit, and excited to get back onto the field. But I mean, I think the off seasons, this is what this stuff is all about, and sort of exploring your inner passions and what you want to do and how you want to leave a mark on this earth.
You have to be able to unplug in the off season and really just get away from football and almost forget about it fully, because the season is so long. I mean, we're going to be back in April. And once April hits, it's football season until the following January.
Just get away from football, just talk to your family, visit your family and friends and all that type of stuff. It's very soothing, and it helps, getting ready for this next season.
I want you to be an alpaca. When you think about the best football players, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it their toughness, their grit? No. It's end zone dances.
She called me and said, "You're doing this. I've booked your flights. Like, it's already a done deal." Can't say no at that point.
I've invited some of the best offensive and defensive linemen in the NFL to come here and be part of the world's first NFL big man dance crew.
When else could I ever say I got to go on the Late Late Show? Like, never.
We are creating history today.
Offensive linemen never get opportunities like that.
James Corden's big man end zone dance crew.
If you ever asked me to do like 2 truths, 1 lie, I could be like, me and Beyonce have worked with the same choreographer. Yeah, I can say that now. I play Fortnite, so they, I guess, did some research on us, and they were like, you have to do one of the Fortnite dances. It didn't have to, but like that's the one my niece taught me that dance, my little cousin, so like that's the one I felt most comfortable doing. The lady that did the choreography, she did the choreography for Beyonce's Formation tour. We're up on the stage, like practicing our dance and doing our dance moves, and my girl's like, you couldn't see her, but we had like 45 minutes to learn that dance. So the lady, my girl's like, she literally is just like,
I'll make love to you like you want me to.
To do the Late Late Show with James Corden, it was like one of those opportunities I couldn't pass up. I'll be able to look back and crack up at that later down the road. My kids will be able to laugh at it. It'll just be like a good time.
Go! Too late.
It ended up being fun. It was a different experience, something out of my element completely. So it's definitely something that I enjoy doing, and I would do it again.
Michael, good morning. What's the news today from the Arizona Cardinals?
Well, Larry's coming back for his 16th season, and we are thrilled. His passion, his drive, his determination, it's like his rookie year. I mean, he seems to get better with age. He's like a fine wine.
Michael was the real one who closed the deal. They've got a special relationship, and I tell Michael all the time that I control 52 players on the roster, and he controls 1, because Larry has a tough time saying no to the boss.
And at some point along the line, you found time to talk to Larry, right?
Yeah.
So he's back. What can you tell us about what you told Larry Fitzgerald?
I'd like to say I sold him on coming back, but
It was all you.
I don't think that was me. No, but what a thrill for this organization, for us as coaches, to work with such a legend of the game and a great person, a great ambassador for not only our organization but the entire state. And we're thrilled. I think he's going to have a great role in our offense, what we do, and he'll be a great role model for the younger players on our team.
I didn't know his decision was coming so soon, and I actually didn't know until one day I walked in the facility for rehab the day he announced, and it was on ESPN, so that's how I found out. And then, shot him a text, but obviously super happy that he's coming back, and just to be able to get another year under my belt to learn, from him after all I learned in my rookie season, and just take over that role one day when he does decide to hang up.
He's the foundation of this organization, I feel like, and me just being drafted here, the first thing I thought about was, Larry Fitzgerald. Just all the things he's done for the community, for the team. He'll always help you with open arms, no matter if you're offensive player, defensive player.
It's exciting. I mean, As we all know, he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest Cardinal of all time. Certainly the face of this organization and a special person to me personally. And a guy that still to this day, regardless of age and speed, athleticism, he still catches that ball and the crowd chanting, Larry, Larry. That gets the place going. And I told Kliff early on in the process, we got to figure out a way to get him the ball early and often.
We always said if you work hard, good things are going to happen.
Scouting is A to Z. I mean, we're looking for everything.
You really try to go in and find out what makes them tick, what their personality is like.
You have to look at it from the unique perspective of, hey, we are getting the first pick, we're getting the 33rd pick. We're going to get the first pick in every round after that.